This is the Amalfi Coast. From the colorful cliffside villages to the crystal clear waters of the Mediterranean Sea, every corner of this coastal paradise is a sight to behold. The Amalfi Coast is a magnet for honeymooners, artists, and anyone who wants to sample La Dolce Vita. On our 2-week journey through Italy in search of a taste of the sweet life, our next stop is the Amalfi Coast. But with a must-visit reputation, will it be love at first sight or just another overcrowded hotspot? Let's find out. Welcome to Boundaries Unlimited.
This is nuts.
Honestly, driving a car through the Amalfi Coast sucks. It makes you so angry, I want to kick a puppy. Maybe not a husky puppy, but definitely a Chihuahua puppy. Our first stop along the Amalfi Coast is Ravello. Ravello, Italy dominates the Amalfi Coast from an altitude of 365 meters, sitting atop a rocky spur dividing two deep valleys. The town serves as a terrace perched high over the sea, from which you can enjoy a stupendous panorama of the entire coastline as far as Calabria in the south and Capri to the north. From early in its history, Ravello became a symbol of the ideal place to live, work, and play. Of the Amalfi Coast from Ravello is breathtaking.
I'm gonna report you to the police.
Right to jail, right away.
Originally, when I was doing my research of staying on the Amalfi Coast, I was planning to stay in Ravello. That way we would have a place of quiet and serenity each night after the day trips to the busy cities off the Amalfi Coast. After visiting here, I'm really glad I didn't make that decision. Instead, I chose an Airbnb right next to the Amalfi Coast's famous fjord. I found the best place to stay within the Amalfi Coast. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can stay here too. It's literally right next to the Fjord of Furore, and there's a private little hidden beach right underneath the little fjord, in the fjord. So let's go check out the Airbnb. So first things first, this is a huge place for just Ksenia and I, but I'll give you a little quick walkthrough. So here's a bedroom up there, it's like the second story. Not really important. Back here is the bedroom. Now what is important in the bedroom is, look outside here guys. The view of the Mediterranean Sea. There's one thing about this Airbnb which makes it one of the best places to stay on the Amalfi Coast. Let's go check it out. Little breakfast nook. And here is the dinner table. I don't know, what is that to the right? Bam! Mediterranean Sea. Now let's walk down a few more steps. All right, we come over here. This is gonna be the spot where we're probably gonna hang out the rest of the night to avoid the chaos that we experienced today. This is a saving grace of the Amalfi Coast so far for me. It's so peaceful back here, a beautiful view of the sea. I think we're just gonna get some food, some takeaway food, a few beers, enjoy the rest of the night. We're not driving anymore today until tomorrow.
That's encouraging. Please slow down, please.
I have to. And that is precisely why we rented a Vespa today to navigate the small winding roads on the Amalfi Coast.
That's encouraging. Our first attempt for suicide. You know what? We are like taking turns. It's a big adventure. It's a big turn coming up. Are you getting a hang of it or no? Hey, slow down.
Slow down. Renting a Vespa was probably one of the best things we did this whole entire trip. It made navigating the Amalfi Coast a much more enjoyable experience than in the Fiat. It would cost about 70 euros for a 24-hour period. If you plan to do it yourself, be prepared for some white-knuckle driving, some tight roads, and expensive parking. €5 per hour. At this point, we're just bleeding euros. So that being said, our first stop is the most recognizable town along the Amalfi Coast. This is Positano. Considered the jewel of southern Italy's Amalfi Coast, you'll know it by its miles of colorful buildings perched on its cliffs overlooking the Mediterranean, as if Michelangelo himself carved the city out of the cliffside. Woo! Water's cold. Oh shit. Since we're on the self-excursion trip today, we decided to go ahead and rent a self-driving boat. Well, the boat isn't self-driving, but I'm driving the boat because I am the captain now. Earlier, I was completely wrong because the best way to navigate the Amalfi Coast is not by scooter or car, it's by the sea. And the best way of doing that is by boat. Now, if you're like me and you have zero boating experience, or if you just don't want to drive your own boat, you can easily hire a captain. It costs significantly more, so my recommendation is, because it's actually very easy, just get out here, drive the boat yourself. It's a lot more romantic because you can stop where you want to stop, swim where you want to swim, and this is definitely, hands down, one of the best things we've done on the Amalfi Coast. There's no substitution that you have to do it when you're here. And I did say, swim wherever you want, right? Oh, it's gonna be cold.
Is it your first time swimming?
No substitution. Since we're on a boat, I figured I would let you guys in on a little history lesson on how Positano received its name. The legend goes that a Turkish boat became beached on the shores of Italy. The crew didn't know what to do, but on board the ship was a painting of the Virgin Mary, and it whispered to the captain, "Posa, posa," which means set me down. But I don't know where the Tano came from, I just know where the Posi came from. So, yeah, history lesson over.
I'll be the captain.
Moving behind the rocks.
When I said that I had zero boating experience, it's not entirely true. It's just not with an actual boat. I've driven jet skis since I've been like 14 years old, and I have a boating license when I turned 14. I don't know how much I remember of it, but it can be dangerous, the water can be choppy, so boat at your own risk. After a long, successful day exploring the Amalfi Coast, it was time to return our Vespa back to ML Porter. ML Porter is a great place if you're looking to rent a Vespa for the day or multiple days. Now, for the rest of the evening, I'm gonna sit here, enjoy the view from our Airbnb, cook a little bit of pasta at home to carb load for tomorrow's activity. See you guys tomorrow. We're starting the morning off bright and early so we can get started on the famous Path of the Gods hike. Now we're doing a longer route. We're starting in Priano all the way to Positano. Before we can even get to the trailhead, we have about an hour and a half of hiking and a little bit over 1,000 steps. So far, 1 hour into this, it's honestly just straight Stairmaster the whole entire time. I gotta say, my quads are screaming, but the views behind us just keep on getting better and better. And I mean, at this point, there's no turning around, so just gotta keep on pushing up. So after 2 hours and 2 miles of basically just straight stairs, we finally made it to the trailhead. The warm-up is finished. So originally we were gonna start from Priano, but we actually just started off at the Fjord of Furore where we're staying at. It's very easy to navigate. If you guys want to do the same, I would recommend it. Basically there's 2 stairs. One to the right, that takes you down to the beach. One to the left, and that takes you up to the trailhead. If you are physically able to do it, I would highly recommend doing it this way, just because we were the only ones doing it. And I gotta say that it's much more rewarding once you get to your final destination when the journey is much more challenging. Now that we're here at the trailhead, it's pretty much just a straight shot, it's pretty level, and now you see all the crowds around here too that took their taxi. But once you get to the Path of the Gods, the hike is pretty easy. It's more of a leisure walk than anything else. But that being said, the views are spectacular and definitely worth the hike. If you're gonna be here, add it to your itinerary now. Do it now.
Do it now.
So just under 4 hours, we have arrived in Nocelle, and there's no better way to celebrate the whole entire hike than a limoncello shot. After hiking 4 hours through rugged terrain, I have to make a shout out to my hiking shoes. Well, they're not really hiking shoes, but they're UFAs, sandals, or flip-flops. And you know, I didn't really think about it too much until a few people commented that we were hiking in flip-flops. Backpacking and traveling with hiking shoes takes up a lot of space, so UFAs, they work in a pinch. While we are not sponsored by UFA's flip-flops, I would love to be. So the ball is in your court, UFA. UFA, UFA, UFA.
Nuts.
Now that we've reached Nocelle, that means we have officially finished the Walk of the Gods or Path of the Gods. Now, you can end your walk here, but we're gonna go ahead and finish it up in Positano, so we got 2,000 steps to walk down. It's better than walking up them though, so we'll see you guys at the bottom. 9.1 miles, 1,500 calories, 218 flights climbed, we have arrived in Positano. As you can tell by the crowds around me, the legs are like jello at this time. We're gonna go grab a bite to eat, and then we're gonna go buy some bus tickets and try to navigate the bus system around this place. So first, to be able to get on the bus on the Amalfi Coast, you have to pick up your ticket, which you cannot do online or on the phone via mobile app. You have to go to a convenience store and buy your ticket there. You can do it for all day or just if you're going to one destination. Then you get in the line to get on the bus. I would not want to be a bus driver out here. I gotta say, taking the bus on the Amalfi Coast is probably one of the easiest and most efficient way to get around. And I will say, the bus drivers here, they are very, very good drivers.
Oh my God.
What are you guys doing here? Well, as we reach our third and final day in the Amalfi Coast, I feel like it's time to answer the question at the beginning of the video: is the Amalfi Coast worth traveling to? Now, if you would have asked me this question on day number 1, I would have told you definitely not. Way too chaotic, too many people, way too expensive, and there just was not much peace and serenity. Now, coming to day 3, I've navigated the Amalfi Coast from hiking, from driving, and from the sea. And I can definitely say I understand why it has a reputation of a magnet for honeymooners and artists and anyone in search of La Dolce Vita. Would I personally choose the Amalfi Coast as my honeymoon destination? No. And the reason why is just there's too many people. There's so many people at every single beach, and we're still in the early season. But if you do choose the Amalfi Coast as your honeymoon destination or just a vacation, you're not going to be disappointed. It's beautiful and easily one of the most beautiful places I've ever traveled to. Best seen by the sea. But I would love to return to explore Capri next time. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, comment below, subscribe for more. And the next place we'll see you guys in is the city that was frozen in time. See you in the next one.